Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Chris, and for those new tuning in, I talk about gig work and personal finance. But today, we're going to talk about an exploit that people were using on the DoorDash application to make a little bit of money on the side. And this is using DoorDash how it's not supposed to be used. Now, normally I talk about the drivers, but today I'm going to talk about a scam that's still happening right now that customers are using. Now, there's several parts to this scam and it all comes together, and there's a lot of thought behind it to where they got to the point where they are today, where they're making a couple of $100s per day, if not more, depending on the size and scale of the operation that they're running. So on the scam that I'm exposing today, I'm going to show you how people are making hundreds of dollars per day from baby nappies. So I was tipped off to this scam by a driver. I won't say who it is or where they work because they don't want any negative repercussions coming their way, either from any of the gig companies or otherwise they don't want anything coming through from the people, potentially criminal, who are operating these scam rinks. So I'm going to keep the source anonymous on this one, but I'm happy to talk about it. I'm going to talk through exactly what they're doing. I had to put a few pieces together as well. He had the outline of the story, but there was a few little cogs that I had to figure out how it was working to make the entire scam run successfully for them. So this scam uses DoorDash drivers specifically doing shop and deliver orders at Coles. So when a customer does a shop and deliver order, they can pick out whatever items they want shopped for. Of course, that's the nature of the service, to Coles supermarkets, and then they can put in substitutions of whatever they want. So in this scam, what the customer does is they select a whole bunch of deli items, so sliced hams, shaved salami, whatever it might be, things from the Coles deli, and then they substitute all the deli items with the largest packs of baby nappies they can find from the supermarkets. So why deli items specifically as part of this scam? Well, that ties into a change that Coles did where they closed their delis off at 8 o'clock at night. But the DoorDash orders, they still run until 30 minutes before store close. So they can still get an order through for deli items at 8:30. So the customer pulling off this exploit and scam, what they'll do is they'll put through all the items from the deli that they want to use and then have all them deli items substituted with the largest packs of nappies. And they'll place that order after 8 o'clock at night when the DoorDash app is still taking deli items on. Even though the deli's closed, the app hasn't been updated and it's still got all the items listed. So the DoorDash driver shows up to do the shop. It's all deli items on the order and the deli's closed, so they can't fulfill it. So they say, I can't get this item on the application, and it shows all the substitutions, which are nappies. So the driver is forced then at that point to take the substitutions across for the customers. So the customers performing this exploit, they've engineered it in a specific way using not only Coles closing the deli early, but at the same time, knowing that DoorDash's customer app will still allow them to keep placing orders through after 8 o'clock, even though the deli's closed, meaning it's going to force a substitution on the driver. Now, why is this important? Well, because if the substitution wasn't forced, then the driver could go through and find the items and fulfill the order. But that closed deli and then being forced through to do substitutions means that the driver will naturally follow the workflow of the app to land straight across to all the nappies. So let's get into the mechanics of how this exploit works. So when a customer places the order for all the deli items across on their DoorDash app, then it gets charged to their card on file. The Dasher then goes and shops, but unfortunately, the items aren't available, so they're forced to do substitutions. Now, when the substitutions are put through on the DoorDash app, what happens is the red card, so the corporate card that DoorDash drivers use, the value that's approved on the transaction at the end moves up to meet the substitution value that the items all match up to. So it's now not just doing the small deli order. The value for the red cards moved up to where the diapers are at. And there's a huge price difference between, say, 200 grams of shaved leg ham and maybe 50 plus diapers. Massive difference on price. So the Dasher does the shop, they scan through all the substitutions, so all the boxes of nappies that they've picked up, they scan it through a Coles, the red card's limit's been raised up to the nappies at that point, and the payment's successfully processed. At this point, the difference in value from the customers already paid on their card on file to the new order value gets charged across. And at this point, you might think, well, there's no scam there, man. That's essentially just the customer's card is going to get charged that difference, and it's all going to balance out. So they're not getting ahead or anything like that. Well, the exploit occurs because they know that after it's been paid for from the corporate red card, then the second charge occurs to adjust from their original payment to the new value. But what if the new value couldn't be charged to the card? So the people pulling this scam off, they're using prepaid Visa cards and MasterCards to place the DoorDash orders on customer accounts that they can just generate up as many times as they want. All you need is an email address to start a customer account, and then they can add a prepaid card on to that customer account to do the transactions. Now, just for an example's sake, say there was 4 substitutions triggered. So there was 50 plus bags of nappies on this order. So about $150 in value. And then they put through like, a $10 order on a bunch of shaved hams and stuff like that from the deli. And they used a $20 prepaid Visa gift card. So the initial charge for the hams goes through, right? Making sense? The Dasher gets all the substitutions for the large bags of nappies. The company card adjusts up. All the nappies get scanned through and paid to Coles. And then when that extra, say $140 odd in value goes through to charge to the customer's prepaid card, the transaction fails. But the Dasher isn't told this, and the Dasher doesn't know. They continue on with the delivery because they've made the payment. What happens on DoorDash's back end is they've got a failed payment, and then they'll rebatch that payment together, just like all other companies do, and reattempt it the next day. So on this hypothetical example of the numbers, a customer spent $20 and they've picked up $150 worth of diapers. Now, going back to my source where this happened to them, so they had the substitutions trigger and fire off. They replaced the nappy. So went through, they went to complete the delivery. The delivery address was to a vacant block, and he was met at the vacant block on a hand-to-me order by a couple of people who had a car parked just up the road. They came out of the car to the vacant block. They were the customer on the order, and they collected all the nappies and then threw it in the boot of their car, and he drove off. For sake of story on this one, they went to a safe location not too far away to observe because they thought it was a little bit weird. They just wanted to check a few things on their app to make sure the order was all good. And as they were doing them checks, they saw another driver come, and then another driver after that, all doing the same thing. So this group of people in this car were collecting DoorDash order after DoorDash order of diapers. So we're not talking 1 or 2 bags, guys. We're talking like a dozen, maybe 2 dozen across in the space of an hour. They're using the exploit that they can still order deli items and place their own substitutions through, and then the further exploit through of using prepaid cards, knowing that the prepaid card's going to fail after it's already been paid at Coles through the corporate red card. And what happens to these customer accounts when the second transaction tries to go through the next day? Well, the account's flagged. The account's probably deactivated and kicked off the platform. But they can just make another one email address. 5 minutes later, they got another customer account with a new prepaid card being used. And they're not using their real address, guys. They're using a vacant block of land where no one lives, and they're meeting the drivers there and collecting them. So I guess the question is, how are they making money here? What are they doing with the nappies? Well, they're selling them on Facebook Marketplace. The nappies retail at $39 each at Coles, and they're selling them on Facebook Marketplace for $25 each. And that's cash, baby. Now, as you look around Facebook Marketplace, city to city, you're going to see diapers for sale. So essentially, guys, these people are trading a $20 prepaid gift card for $150 plus in diapers, and they just go over and over again. And they're doing multiple per night. Realistically, guys, one car could get several Dashers coming through and be doing several bags of nappies across. They could pick up a couple of $100 worth of nappies in the space of 1 hour. So for 1 hour a day, they're making a couple of $100, and they just got to list it up on Facebook Marketplace, sell it off for cash. So the accounts get torn down, they just make another one, new email address, new prepaid gift card, just do it again and again and again. They're doing this, guys, I think a lot across the country, because if you jump on Facebook Marketplace, there's a lot of nappies for sale. So I think word's got out of a way to exploit the system there. So guys, that's the exploit, that's the scam. They're using prepaid cards, they're putting orders through DoorDash to the deli after 8 o'clock at night. They're using the substitutions that automatically trigger at that point, and then the prepaid card fails, leaving them with $100 plus $150 worth of goods for only $20 on their prepaid card. They're cheering, they're laughing, and they're selling it online online afterwards. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And guys, I reckon words got around. I reckon this is a syndicate. I think there is a lot of people in a lot of different cities doing this right now. DoorDash's fraud prevention needs to get on top of this kind of stuff because it's running pretty rife right now. And when it runs rife, that's DoorDash not making money, DoorDash losing money. And when DoorDash starts losing money for drivers like myself, we're the first ones to get the pay cuts as they try to rebalance up their books. So it sucks for drivers when fraud is running rampant from customers. But guys, I thought I'd just share that one. That's the exploit using prepaid gift cards that customers are doing. They're making a couple of $100, selling it all online afterwards. And yeah, guys, they're making hundreds of dollars in an hour for a side hustle at the expense of a delivery company. But leave your thoughts down below in the comments. This could theoretically work for not just diapers. I have seen it in the past when people used to do this with batteries, because batteries were really expensive items. Luckily, they can't actually use it to buy gift cards. Otherwise, that would just become a spiraling Ponzi. It'd be out of control with it. But yeah, leave your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. If you enjoyed this, if you learned something, if you learned one of these scams, one of the exploits that customers are doing out there, make sure you smash the good on ya button, which is the thumbs up. Supports the video, supports the channel. Till next time, guys, take it easy and peace out.